Freedom at midnight. As the lockdown was lifted, Wuhan put on a light show and the people breathed after 11 weeks in which none was allowed to leave the city and many were confined to their homes. Then they got out of town as quickly as they could, many by car before sunrise. Some by rail. They had to queue for a temperature check at the station before catching the first train out, the 6:25 to Beijing. Others went by plane. They had 3 temperature checks before embarking. No one is allowed to leave Wuhan unless they have a green QR code on their app to show their health status.
1月21号开始没出门，然后一直到今天，然后头一次出门，然后现在是去找父母。
回家。
对。
想你吗？
你肯定想啊！你不要再说了，再说哭了。因为也比较意外，就没想过会在这儿待那么久。不说了，不说了。
But despite today's triumphal propaganda showing health workers returning to their hometowns, doubts remain over how the Chinese Communist Party handled the outbreak in Wuhan, where the pandemic started. After initially punishing local doctors who raised the alarm, on December the 31st, China notified the WHO of an unknown illness and shut down the suspected source, Wuhan's Huanan seafood market. By mid-January, although cases were spreading in China and abroad, the authorities denied evidence of human-to-human transmission. Then the Wuhan authorities organised Chinese New Year celebrations, which thousands attended. Less than a week later, as cases multiplied, the city was locked down. Last weekend, what little traffic there was came to a halt, a substitute for the traditional annual ceremony of sweeping the ancestors' tombs. Some were mourning the health staff who perished, including Dr. Li Wenliang, who was penalised for going public about COVID-19 and who later died of it.
没把人挨掉，这国家就是大人大灾难嘛，是吧？这些人是不信，那这我们也表示哀悼啊，对不对？你特别是我们像李文亮人，那是英雄，要早点发现是不是？早点还强一些，对不对？现在晚一点吧，现在我们比外国强，现在还强一点。
Some Wuhan residents have now been allowed to collect the ashes of their relatives. Although the official death toll for Wuhan is just over 2,500, Chinese reporters saw more than 5,000 urns delivered to one funeral home, sparking suspicion that the real number of dead is far higher. The Chinese Communist Party presents its rapid building of new hospitals and draconian lockdown and the subsequent decline in infection in Wuhan as a triumph for its system of government. But Wuhan is a city traumatized by grief, its people living in fear that there may yet be a second wave.